Welcome to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream, and
It's Friday. This is an awesome day.
it's about time.
Really? Are you
Yeah.
going to get all cranky about it now?
No, I'm just happy that it's Friday.
Okay, I'm happy for you that you're happy it's Friday. But
All right, so what do we have coming up?
ton of cool weekend stuff too, like Pride Weekend and
Yeah,
then the
yeah.
Utah Lake Festival. This is going to be fun.
The Utah Lake Festival sounds like so much fun.
Free paddleboarding and lessons and free fishing lessons for your kids.
I
That's
s-
Saturday,
I saw
10 to 2.
I saw an ad that they were looking for people to help. It was a summer job. Incredible job. And so basically, I don't know if you know this, but basically what they're doing at Utah Lake is there is a species of carp that's, what's this?
I'm just prepared because it's going to be a good story.
I want to do it. Want to get this job and make
What-
that $8 an hour.
What do you want to do with the carp?
There's a certain kind of carp that are down in Utah Lake, and
Okay.
they, those reeds, and they're eating all the food on the bottom that other fish.
Isn't that what carps do?
Yeah, but this is an invasive
But
species.
this is a bad carp.
Yeah, I'm gonna sneeze.
An unlovable carp. Okay, so basically this...
So anyway, here the ad. The ad says wanted. People to help eliminate carp from Utah Lake. Now, if you don't know how the process works, they've hired a private company, which is basically a guy in his garage, and he's got a flatbed trailer. And so he's built sides on it. So what they do is they go out and set huge nets, and then they bring it in, and they take all the fish, and they throw it in the back of their deal, and then they take it a certain place, and they use a big suction thing to suck them up and put them in the back of a bigger truck.
I was picturing you sitting there in like a little boat, like catching them by hand and going,
No.
"Oh, you're fine."
No.
You're putting it back, and they're
No.
going, "No, you're bad."
They've done hundreds of thousands of pounds so far. Hundreds of thousands of pounds. And you can do this. How fun would that be?
Fish sucking.
Yeah.
What does your husband do? He's a fish sucker.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the funny thing, because we have friends who go down there and fish all the time for white bass and stuff. One of the funny things is when they're pulling them out.
Yeah,
now,
how do you know if you're catching
well,
good
carp-
fish with your bad
Well,
fish?
carp you sort them when the net comes in. You get rid of
Oh,
them.
you get to be a fish sorter as well as a fish sucker.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
But one of the cool things is that, and I just think this is funny, there's no limit on carp, right? Mm-hmm. And there's certain cultures that eat carp, and there are Asian countries that eat carp, and there and a couple others. But some Asian gentlemen and women go down there, and some of them are like this big. This big around. And
You've caught one before that we could have fit one of our toddlers in its mouth. It was gigantic.
But the people working there just give it to them. So they go down and pick up dinner. I think that's awesome.
Waste not want, no.
Right?
No, yeah. Are you
'Cause
kidding?
I
At
don't
least
know-
it's not being wasted.
I
Can
don't
you
know
eat
if
it?
you know the recipe for carp is you take carp and you put him on a thing and you clamp his tail and you scale him this way, and then you go ahead and you gut him and clean him and make sure he's all nice and clean, and then you throw it away and eat the board. I kid.
I have to
No.
admit, I have never found a way that would make carp anything less than hideously
They can do
inedible.
it.
But I believe that anything can be done.
There are cultures that can make that happen.
And I'm sure that's through necessity. And it's like, I got to make this fish in a way my kids will actually keep it down. And they do.
That's why I'm making cow tongue this weekend. And I will share that with you and the incredible visuals that come with it. All right, digital license plates. I saw this story.
This is a thing. Now,
And I was
explain the
freaking
value
out.
of it to me, I guess.
Well, first of all, so there's a plate. The plate goes on your car. On top of the plate, there is a back plate. On top of the back plate, there's a motherboard. Yes, I said it. A motherboard.
This seems like a lot of work.
Green, like in your computer. Another plate goes on top. A screen is put in on top of that, and the outside protective cover. You now have license plates that California is introducing, and they're incredible because you can switch, like on the bottom, right? It says California, say I'm
Sure,
1,
yeah,
2, 3.
yeah,
So whatever it is, that's always stays the same. But underneath, it might be Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you can have
Isn't that
a
lovely?
logo come up, and those words go across the bottom. If it's St. Patrick's Day, picture of a leprechaun, and Happy St. Patrick's Day comes up, so you can switch them out. and be magnificent.
How much more would such a thing cost me?
$699.
$699?
And a $7 a month service charge.
Wow. So I could pay almost $1,000 more a year for a special license plate that says Happy St. Patrick's Day. I bet it would also say things like, hey, this car is stolen. Or if the license of motor vehicles really wanted to suck, they would say things like, you need to renew your registration, or this driver has a DUI, so stay back further.
If you could program what it said, and it had a keypad to it, I'd buy one because I'd be naughty. I would, oh boy. All right, we talked about something the other day, and we were kind of outraged about it, but now something
kind of nauseating.
Does this return your
at least
belief
a little
in
bit?
man?
At least a little bit. This is interesting. The upcoming video game Active Shooter. This is actually a Russian-based publisher.
Oh, is it?
They're notorious for these kind of scummy games.
So you can
that are
either
done
be
essentially without conscience, and
you could either be the active shooter in a school or play one of the SWAT members.
That's beautiful.
Horrifying.
Well, the game was set to be available on Valve's Steam digital distribution platform next week, and this is one of the biggest distribution platforms in the world. It's freaking gigantic.
Right.
Tens of thousands of people signed an online petition demanding the game be dropped, and they actually did it. They pulled distribution of the game. It'll still show up somewhere.
Somebody will pick it up
because
it's money.
It was a heartless distribution. Creation company. And they'll find it. But I really do like that Steam has dumped it, because that's going to make it, number one, 1,000 billion times less lucrative, which is the only thing the game developers care about. They obviously don't care about human emotion or decency, but they would care about the cash. And the fact that it's not going to be available on a major broad-based platform is going to be an issue.
All right, time for information.
That makes me so happy. All right, Daisy's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Fink & McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. If you just go to fink-mcgregor.com, you will be amazed at how many options are available. And, by the way, that you don't have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars. Check it out, fink-mcgregor.com. Also by Brio Technologies. These suckers are your experts in lighting, sound, and video. You can bring your company, you can bring all of your events into the next century with these suckers. Brio Audiovisual.com. And by the New Millennium Financial Group. There's a lot of hard questions to ask yourself to make sure that you're prepared for your future. And if you don't know the questions to ask, fortunately, these guys do, and they're going to get you started. UtahsFinancialPlanner.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making news on Friday, June 1st on GephartDaily.com. Two 10-year-old cousins who were killed in a UTV crash in central Idaho last Saturday will be buried in Brigham City this Saturday, family members announced. The deceased are Avery Elizabeth Cole and Lydia Jane Chaffin, according to GoFundMe pages set up by family members. The girls died after the UTV they were on with 5 other people rolled off the road down an embankment, according to Lemhi County Sheriff's officials. The incident occurred on Lick Creek Road last Saturday morning during a family reunion. For details of the funeral services, go to GephartDaily.com. Facebook will be building a 970,000 square foot data center in Eagle Mountain, Governor Gary Herbert has announced. Pleased to announce that Facebook will construct a state-of-the-art data center in Eagle Mountain, bringing more than $100 million in pioneering infrastructure. Welcome to Utah, Facebook, Herbert tweeted. Eagle Mountain City announced in a news release the data center will be at Sweetwater Industrial Park. The Facebook data center is expected to employ 30 to 50 people full-time, with potential for more contract workers. And the Utah Department of Transportation advises drivers to plan for a full closure of I-15 this weekend in Lehi. I-15 is scheduled to close Sunday, June 3rd from midnight to 8 a.m. between 2100 North and Lehi Main Street. Drivers should plan ahead and avoid the area if possible, or allow extra time to travel the detour route. During this closure, construction crews will demolish the 600 East Bridge over the freeway as part of the I-15 Technology Corridor project. Construction will continue through late 2020. And time now for a look at the Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's top audiovisual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and in Layton. Friday will be in the mid-70s with a 30% chance of rain, but there's pretty much no chance of rain for the rest of the weekend, and temps will climb to the low to mid-80s for Saturday and Sunday. Monday is going to climb to 92, so don't forget the sunscreen. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GetPartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you so much, Daisy. This is so interesting. I was listening to the stats of people who are addicted to prescription medications and abusing them and who don't know how to get out of it. Papillon Recovery Center has something you should look at. Now, a lot of people have been through different kinds of programs, but this is something different. And if you're looking for something, I mean, a lot of people know if you're dealing with someone in your life, someone that you love, that they've been to a recovery center. They've been back, and they've been back. And what they do at Papillon is they kind of find out why there is this failing ability to stop and to move on with their lives. And as you know, you're going to stick with these people as long as you can to make this work. Well, they have some different things I think you should go look at. They do the entire, like the whole experience about, you know, what's going on in your soul and your brain and your body and the chemicals and all those different things. Men, women, young, old, they're there to help you. Just more information, just go to
PapillonIRC.com. It's PapillonIRC.com. It can change your life.
All right, so basketball players, besides being really tall, they do nice things.
I absolutely, and they swoop in like in sort of an awesome way. Delilah Cassidy, I just feel for her. She said, the most amazing thing happened to me. This is on Twitter. And she said, I can't help but share it with the world. American Airlines apparently had instituted a new policy where you have to pay to take a carry-on on the plane.
Right.
Which is ridiculous, but off topic, she says.
What do you mean, like a...
Just to carry anything on plane at all. So I consolidated my bags into one and they measure it and say it's a little too big, so they charge me $50, except for they only take credit cards. Well, I just got back from Europe. All my credit cards are being declined because Chase doesn't know I'm back. You and I have been through this where they know exactly where you're going, and if it's anywhere else, they're not going to cover you.
But in our case, it's Idaho.
I know, it's like
Europe.
Right over the border to
it's
Wendover.
Not Europe.
Yeah. So they tell me I'm going to have to miss the flight and head back to the ticket counter to pay down there. And I'm like, look, I've been flying for the last 20 hours.
I just need to get home.
Because you know what it is, where you're just like ready to cry. You're like a toddler. And so this big, she said, this big gigantic guy walks up and said, how much is it? And they say $50. And he goes, oh, I got it. And I am astounded. And I said, look, it's fine. No, don't worry. You don't have to do this.
Wow, that's nice.
And he hands the lady his card, the American Airlines person quickly runs it, and she's standing there going, thank you, I just feel really overwhelmed. He goes, oh no, have a great flight, and hops on board. I'm crying as I write this, and as I board the flight, this man was an angel. I stop him as he's sitting in first class, and I try to give him my money, but he shook me off and said to pay it forward. My heart is so happy. And she said, by the way, that was Arizona Cardinals tight end Jermaine Gresham. She said, I took a picture with him later. I didn't know who he was. And I got home, and the first thing everybody said was, do you know that's Arizona Cardinals tight end Jermaine Gresham? She's like, thank you.
I'm confused. What a great story.
Isn't that amazing?
I'm confused a little.
About?
Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. Arizona.
NBA?
NFL. I'm sorry, I screwed up.
I was like, there's a new game in town. That's a good start there.
You know I'm not good with all the sports.
Where are these people when we're trying to check in?
I know, right?
Right? Where
Thank
are
you,
these
Jermaine.
people?
You're a wonderful person.
You are a wonderful person.
What a sweetheart.
Coming up next, my favorite story of the entire week.
First,
the entire story coming up.
Okay, but we have to pick a Christopher's winner.
Okay, we already did. There it is.
All right. Christopher's Prime Steakhouse. Congratulations to Paula, Humphrey, sweetheart. I'm going to be contacting you, and 3 delightful friends are going to Christopher's. By the way, if you would like to enter to win dinner for 4 at Christopher's next week, super easy. Just share the show today. If you're in Get Part Daily, Get Part Approved, or the Todd and Erin page, I don't care when you're watching this. If you share, you're automatically entered to win. It's that simple.
Coming up, my favorite story of the week.
Tell me.
Next.
We're brought to you by Fink & McGregor. Mortgages made simple. Just head to fink-mcgregor.com. Take 4 minutes to answer some questions, and you'll get a great idea about mortgages that you're eligible for. And by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. Go get a personalized health analysis. This is the time to get back in shape. Feel better, feel younger, and without a ton of new medications at stayfitwellnessclinic.com.
I told you, and I promised you, the best story of the week.
You know, there's a lot riding on this because the best story of the week is going to have to be pretty awesome.
You're gonna love it. Jesse Duplantis. He is 88. He is a Christian minister based in Louisiana.
Is he one of the charismatic Christian ministers?
Televangelist.
It explains everything going on.
Televangelist. People who have churches so big as its own weather system. And it's tax-free. So anyway, the point is that this 88-year-old evangelist has had this church, and it's a big deal. And it's really kind of large. And God came and talked to him, which I'm not doubting. And he went and put a video out to all his followers, which he has quite a few.
Because he's going to spread God's word. This is so cool. Okay.
And, bring food and give it to the poor. Go to Puerto Rico and do what the government should have done.
Volunteer in your community. Probably, yeah, something like that.
He asked his followers. He asked his followers if they could buy him a Falcon X luxury business jet to go with his other two.
I'm confused. God told him that he needed a Falcon X luxury jet?
Yes.
Those are like millions of dollars.
Yes. Yes, they are. Matter of fact, it's $54 million. I guess the hungry have been fed already. I guess the homeless have had shelter.
So he literally went on to the video and said, hey, I know I got those 2 jets. Those suck. Anyway, God has told me I need a Falcon jet that costs $54 million.
Sure, you mock
God
him.
told me.
You mock him now. I will now read the thing that will make you totally understand this.
Oh, and then I'll be shamed by my doubt. Okay, go on.
I really believe that Lord Jesus Christ was physically on earth today. If he was on earth today, he wouldn't be riding a donkey. He said in this video, he'd be in an airplane flying all over the world.
And his $54 million Falcon jet.
Not carrying food to people, just flying.
So he's not remembering the part where Jesus actually, at least according to the Bible, liked hanging out with the poor and the people who were desperate and needed him.
He wants to fly over them. Just fly right over the poor and the needy and the wanted. And not drop food, but just experience the flow of poorness as he shoots across the sky. It gets really low. He might be able to see a little poorness. Yeah, I think that's a cloud. That's a cloud of destituteness over there.
That smells like desperation. Fly faster.
Just keep going. Cocktails. I need some cocktails.
Oh my gosh. See, the worst part for me is I could never keep a straight face through that video. I would crack like halfway and just go to pieces. I'd be on the floor.
There's a lot of editing.
I could not have possibly gotten through that.
Show of hands, was that the best story of the week? Yes, it was.
No, I bow to you. All right, coming up in just a minute. Hey, remember Kurt Cobain?
Well, yeah.
We loved him. Remember Courtney Love, his crazy wife?
She was different.
She's crazier than you thought.
We'll find out next.
Yeah.
We're brought to you by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. If you're tired of feeling sick and tired, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Bowden for a new holistic health plan to make you feel better, lose weight, sleep well at stayfitwellnessclinic.com. And by Magic Wash with 2 locations in South Ogden and Layton. Come in for the ceramic car wash that keeps your car cleaner longer by sheeting all the dirt and the water off your nice shiny finish.
Well, welcome back. It's Friday edition of the Todd and Erin Daily Stream Hollywood Connection, brought to you by our beloved friends at Connect Heating and Air. By the way, if you go to Utah Heating and Cooling, you can schedule an air conditioning tune-up for $39. That's a special that could save you hundreds of dollars in energy bills over the summer. Okay, so Courtney Love, we all assume is crazy. Now, Frances Bean Cobain. She really
has.
Frances Bean Cobain, of course, is Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love's daughter.
Right.
She's had her challenges.
Huh?
None of this would be surprising given her background,
That's
right?
true. Mm-hmm.
Well, she had a very, very precious instrument. It was played by her father during his 1993 performance on MTV Unplugged.
Okay.
Really special guitar. Now, the guitar was in the possession of Frances. It was one of the things that was deeded to her. And she got married to someone named Isaiah Silva. You know, the usual whatever. And he, I guess, is divorcing Frances now. He's claiming that Frances had agreed to give him one of Kurt Cobain's guitars during their divorce settlement, and he unfortunately had picked the one that nobody wanted him to have. So I guess Frances wasn't thinking things through.
Right.
So this is a guitar that's precious both to her and to her mother. Well, Silva then filed a lawsuit against her mother because apparently Lefty, who is a very close friend and bodyguard for Courtney Love,
Right.
apparently attempted to burglarize, rob, assault, sexually batter, kidnap, and attempt to murder him at his home before the settlement was finalized. So what he's claiming is that they wanted to kill him and take back the guitar. So
I think they could, knowing this crowd of people.
So he's filing a lawsuit. I'm not seeing where. It's interesting because I guess there was no police report about it, which makes it more awkward and strange.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're all weirder than you thought.
It makes me feel better about myself, and that's a lot, saying a lot.
I miss Kurt Cobain and I miss Nirvana. I miss them a lot.
Let's get some information, national news headlines with Daisy.
Okay, she's brought to you, of course, by New Millennium Financial Group. Look, if you need to know exactly what's happening, should you sell your house? Should you save money? Should you do your 401k? What should you be doing? These are the people who will ask you all the questions to get your head on straight and get you going again. UtahsFinancialPlanner.com. Just go there and get started. Also by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. Look, the happiest you can possibly be is if you're healthy. A head-to-toe healthy body is going to make all the difference, and that is how they approach you. Go to stayfitwellnessclinic.com for more information and to get a consultation. And of course, by Fink and McGregor Mortgage is made simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com and you'll find out within 4 minutes what kind of mortgages you're actually qualified for. And someone can call you back the next business day. fink-mcgregor.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making news in the US and around the world Friday, June 1st on GephartDaily.com. President Donald Trump met with Kim Kardashian on Wednesday in the Oval Office, where the reality star asked for a pardon for a 62-year-old woman serving a life sentence on a first-time drug offense. Ahead of the meeting, the Keeping Up with the Kardashians star said she intended to seek a reprieve for Alice Johnson. For months, she's campaigned on the great-grandmother's account through back channels with presidential advisor Jared Kushner. Kardashian met with Trump's son-in-law at the White House prior to her visit with the president. Russian journalist Arkady Babchenko surprised everyone this week by showing up at a news conference on Ukrainian television a day after he was reported dead, telling other reporters his death was faked as part of a special intelligence operation. Ukrainian authorities said Tuesday Babchenko had been killed at his home by an assailant, leading Moscow and Kiev to blame each other for his death. Babchenko, a Kremlin critic, left Russia last year after criticizing the Moscow government. And proposed U.S. tariffs on imported vehicles and parts could cost the domestic economy 157,000 jobs, a study from a trade policy consulting firm said this week. A 6-page policy statement by Trade Partnership Worldwide said auto industry tariffs proposed by President Donald Trump would ultimately be harmful to American workers. A tariff on imported cars and parts, the report said, would positively impact a small number of workers in the U.S. auto manufacturing sector, but would lead to 3 jobs lost in other sectors for every job gained. And time now for a look at the Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's #1 audiovisual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the high-tech, long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and Layton. Friday will be in the mid-70s with about a 30% chance of rain, but there's pretty much no chance of rain for the rest of the weekend, and temps will climb to the low to mid-80s Saturday and Sunday. Monday is going to climb to the low 90s, so don't forget your sunscreen, and there's not much chance of rain for the first part of next week. For more news 24/7, check out GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, my dear Daisy. Papillon Recovery. I really am interested in this because Todd has had some friends who have gone through recovery programs for addiction, not once, not twice, but sometimes 3 or 4 times. And every time it's just a massive drain on the family's income. But what else would you do? It's someone you love. You will do anything you can to recover them. Well, Papillon had an interesting approach because they were trying to go through the reasons that people backslide. What happens to them? Why are they like that? What were the mistakes? And once they figured out some of the commonalities and things that seemed to be happening, they went back and recreated a program so that when they do recovery coaching, it's an entirely different approach. So when your loved one comes out of the recovery program, they're better armored to understand the things that are going to be happening to them, and they know where to reach out for help, and they know how to handle it. They have different coping tools. Now, if this sounds like it's something that you want to know more about, they accept most kinds of insurance. They're incredibly helpful. Just give them a phone call and at least get started. Or you can go online to papillonirc.com. That's papillonirc.com.
This story is disturbing.
What do you mean disturbing? It's so sweet.
Well, I had a German Shepherd once, and it went missing. And I was on the radio, and I pleaded for people, and the dog ends up on the other side of I-15 at 7200 South, and I lived in Sugar House. So the reason is, how did my dog get there? My dog did not run there. My dog did
That would
not
be quite a gallop.
cross I-15 and did not do that. You know, my only thought was someone grabbed the dog, put him in a car,
That's really scary.
and took him out and dropped him off. And the guy who worked on the loading dock goes, I think I have your dog. Thank you very much. I went down there and I goes, come here, girl. What are you doing?
And she was okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
She was dog napped.
that is so bizarre. Well,
But this one is weird.
This is unfortunately what happened with Jake the dog. Now, Jake is actually from Arizona, and when he first went missing, his owners were like, I don't know what's going to... We've lost him, and they're freaking out. They figured the worst has happened. Well, here's what's happened. The coonhound showed up alive and well, and this is like a year later and almost 2,000 miles from home.
Really?
So something similar had to have
Yeah,
happened.
some snagged him, yeah.
Dogs don't show up like that. And what had happened
It's not
is...
like he's a hobo and he's on a train
got his
somewhere.
little paw sticking out, yeah.
Right.
Adam Herbaz from Roaring Spring, Pennsylvania. He was out walking his dog when he saw Jake kind of wandering the streets, and being a dog lover, he went, took the dog into the local Humane Society and said, he looks like a stray. They checked his microchip and went,
He was chipped.
he's from freaking Arizona. So wonderful. They, the vets called and went, hey, this is so cool. We've got Jake. And they're crying, and they're just like on the floor of their pieces because they're so excited.
Sure.
Well, they also have 2 children that are deathly ill, and they have no money. Right. Anyone who's dealing with someone who's got chronic illness in your family, you got no money. We all know it. You got no money, and they're sobbing. They're like, because they said we can ship him back. If you do it by plane, it's like $700. If you do it by, car, it'll be like this much. And they're bawling. They're like, we don't have anything.
We can't do it.
And so there's an animal rescue group.
And the kids were in love with the dog.
Oh, and which is crucial to them.
Right.
Well, the girl who runs a pit bull rescue heard about it, and obviously Jake is not a pit bull, but he's a dog. And she went, we got to fix this. So what she did, it was very similar to the Pony Express relay. What she did is she got online and she talked to everybody in her rescue group, and she goes, here's the deal, we got the dog, he's here. This is where his family lives. Could everyone help me? Could we link up? So
do a leg
exactly.
of the trip.
Could you drive 100 miles and then drop Jake off to the next person? And then this is going to take 3 days. Right. So could 3 of you volunteer to keep Jake overnight?
It's like the Doggy Express.
Yes, exactly. Funny. And that's what they did. They had 20 different volunteers across the nation. They said, no, of course we will. She had more people than she could count.
Oh, funny.
They launched the 3-day trip. Everybody drove 100 miles before passing them on to the next volunteer. 9 states, 20 volunteers. And then they had Jake back with his family, and the kids just went to pieces.
What?
But isn't that brilliant?
How many states?
20 volunteers and 9 states.
It's ridiculously cool.
But think about the complications of making sure everybody's where they needed to be. But that many people believe that Jake had to go back to his kids.
It's amazing.
Isn't that the most amazing story? The Doggy Express. I love that.
Let's keep this story in mind about what people have done, when they have some spare time.
Ingenuity.
I want you to think about that. And coming up next, I'm going to give you another great example.
Oh, cool.
It's next.
We're brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com for their $39 air conditioner tune-up special. Some care now could make the difference in hundreds of dollars of energy bills this summer. and by New Millennium Financial Group. Take your feeble financial health back to a more robust position with a consult with New Millennium Financial Group. They're offering a complimentary financial analysis to get you started at utahsfinancialplanner.com.
All right, welcome back to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. I want you to think about what you do in your projects at home. You know, maybe you're fixing planter boxes like I'm doing right now. Maybe you're spending that time and, you know, taking care of a neighbor and doing their lawn and mowing their lawn. And people have these tasks, and you know what? It grows people together, brings people together, a shared interest, and usually, you know,
You've created a beautiful project. You've done something here. Yeah.
Well, Edwin, he works at the Grind Hard Plumbing Company, and they took some of their time. Did they?
They had lots of tools and things, I'm assuming.
Tools and grinds and stuff like that. And when they decided what they were going to do, this is what they did. They took a Barbie car.
Oh my good Lord.
And
that's the one that Zoe's been dreaming of forever.
yes, it is. Except for this one goes 72 miles an hour.
What have they done? What have they done?
Can you imagine what a full-grown... See the wheel? The steering wheel comes up behind the windshield. Can you imagine
you couldn't even get a grown-up in there.
That's the chair sticking up, by the way, just in case you don't realize.
Oh, that's freaking hysterical. And it can go how fast?
72 miles an hour.
Please don't ever let Zoe see this picture, please.
I will not.
Don't let our 7-year-old see
We will
this
erase
picture.
the show when we're done.
Please.
As you wish
Ever.
we would with every single show. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday back here on the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. Any wise words you want to leave with people?
Just don't forget to share the show. That qualifies you to win the unbelievable thing on Monday, which is we are giving away lunch for 20 at your office, catered by Christopher's Prime Steakhouse.
Floss.
Make sure you share the show.
Eat your fiber. Don't hurt each other. We'll see you Monday. You need to floss. Floss.